My name is Margaret Ann Windsor, and I was kidnapped and brought to Moulton, Alabama in 1941. Uh, I've put all this on previous videos and Facebook videos since a year ago, over a year ago, when Alexis Murphy was kidnapped, and they've charged the man with her murder, even though her body hasn't been found, and that was a mind control murder. But anyway, I got a phone that I'm able to, for the moment anyway, upload videos, and I have been. It's got the background on all this, my kidnapping, but I wrote about mind control murders back after I'd worked for doctors in Atlanta. Well, that's what I did, was work for doctors, and then I worked for the DA later. But the point I want to make here is, I had so much happen to me in plain sight of people, but I was kind of exiled up here to Roanoke in October of '86, and I lived a heck of a life. And I was trying to tell about the mind control murders being done in patterns, and I was even flown out to Larry Flint's because the person that shot him in Lawrenceville, Georgia, March the 6th of '78, was programmed to shoot him. I was flown out to his home, and then a lot of things happened to him because he was telling the truth. He was locked up in Butner. They tortured him in North Carolina. That's a federal prison. They tortured him, et cetera, et cetera. Called him crazy and took his power of attorney, and that was because he was telling the truth. I didn't tell you anything about that in the movie. I did want to mention there was the 33, and I just put this on the tape and put it up, but I wanted to read from the transcripts or deposition. There's a whole list of murders that happened at Virginia Tech. That's about 45 miles from Roanoke. And then in Charlottesville, the University of Virginia, too, you hear about the murders. They don't tell you that certain ones were done in patterns and mind control, and they're not going to. I want to see how much of this I can read for you. Though this is just one that was where decapitation. Okay, let me start right here. Charged against Virginia Tech murder suspect moves forward. The case against the former Virginia Tech graduate student who is charged with the murder of another international graduate student moves forward. Now then, a case against a former Virginia Tech student who is charged with murder, moves forward. The Montgomery County Clerk of Court's office tells WSLS. The grand jury, by the way, WSLS, all these people, media knows it. Huntsville, Atlanta, you name it, here in Virginia ever since. Certified the murder charge against Haiyang, ZHU of Ningbo, China, July the 22nd. Okay? ZHU's trial has been set for November the 16th. He is charged with the first-degree murder in the decapitation, death of Haiyang from Beijing, China. Virginia Tech police found, I'm going to say Yang, dead in the Aubon Cafe inside the Graduate Life Center at Virginia Tech. Horrifying details emerged in hearings at Virginia Tech the Virginia Tech murder. And this is from Ashley Roberts at the courthouse, WSLS report, and this is on Google. You can Google it. Horrifying detail. I told about this being mind control murders way back when it happened. And now then all this is going on about Great Britain, and they're taking the fall and beating for the Americans who are the crooks. Anyway, I put that on other. It's very sad. They just decapitated a Brit. They're hostages just like I am. The night of the terrifying details emerged about the night of the murder of a graduate student on Virginia Tech's campus. I got to find another way to do this. flipping, and I'll never get this on. Corey Cox, an employee at the cafe inside the Graduate Life Center, was the first to testify. He said that he had just returned from a break, then heard a loud growl and screaming sound. Cox looked over his shoulder and testified he saw ZHU on top of Yin Yang attacking her with a knife. The students, these were friends, by the way, Chinese students that were friends, and students at Virginia Tech Blacksburg. The employee said that ZHU was going at her, cutting her head off. Cox described ZHU's face as wasn't an angry face, just blank and determined look. By the way, he has also, the attacker, the male, been described by fellow students as polite. And if you notice in a lot of these mind control murders, and that's what a lot of these have been, Sandy Hook, the Tucson, Arizona, Aurora, Colorado, the people beforehand, some of them had been very nice, and it was so out of character for them. What happened, the crimes that they supposedly committed, well, they're mind control. Okay, now it goes on and says Cox also testified the knife he saw ZHU use was not from the cafe. Then the first officer who arrived on the scene this past January took the stand. Nicole Irvin said upon arriving, I saw the body and the gentleman walking toward me with a head in his hand. Officer Irvin then told ZHU to put his hands in the air, and she said ZHU did, dropping the head on the floor. Irvin described ZHU as very calm. The officer very calm, which is unusual. You're talking about mind control, but this is proven in another way by patterns. The officer also found Yang's body lying on her back with her hands curled up in fists at her chest. When Irvin asked ZHU if he had any other weapons, he had a couple of things in his backpack. So I'm going to stop there, because what they've done with mind control in the United States, kidnapped me and took down my dad, and my Uncle George VI is illegal. He worked for the United States, the very people that kidnapped me, and has the media control, the Rockefellers, the Rothschilds, the Illuminatis, Freemasons, the Kennedys. You got mind control mixed up in all of it. But what they've done is, when they brought me over here, you'll never see this unless there's a court of law, a world court, and it's forced to be told. They made this graphic. Cutting your head off is pretty graphic, like this one I've just told you about at Virginia Tech, and the ones that ISIS is doing. And you have to wonder, I don't, about mind control being used there. But the fact that British are paying for Americans' crimes, Britain is a hostage, just like me. So what they've done to me, when they kidnap me, you can't take a picture or a photo and show it, because it's been done in other means. It's just this graphic. You'd have to have had it on camera at the time and have to get lessons in what effects it did to me. It leaves me kind of like babbling. It's been an ongoing terrorism, and it's been done right in front of the Americans with them participating. And there's none of them that didn't believe it, believe me. So I'm going to leave it at that. There are a lot more that happened just at Tech here. And these were deliberately done using patterns, mind control used. And by the way, I'm going to throw this one in too, because Scott Peterson was one. His attorney did all he could. It's hard to prove them, and then when people don't want to believe it, they don't even want to hear it. And you can Google mind control if you didn't have me telling about it.